Hey guys, the Glass Stoic here, and right now I'm in my backyard, enjoying the beautiful weather that we have today. Um, Napakaganda ng araw, and I was cleaning my yard this morning. I was raking yung mga damo, and I was able to throw it out the yard waste bin. The town is already provided a yard waste bin for residents to throw their yung mga dahon-dahon na nahuhulog sa mga puno. So as you can see, uh, pretty much wala pang mga dahon yung mga puno, but you know that spring is already here, and right now ang temperature is around 10 degrees, and for us it's mainit na yun. Pinapawisan na kami noon. So yeah, I guess na acclimatize na yung aming katawan sa winter. So come spring, mag-adjust na naman yung aming mga katawan uh, to adapt to warmer wet weather. Ayun. Kaya ako minsan mas maganda pag pupunta kayo dito sa Canada, lalo na dyan sa mga malalamig na parte tulad ng Hardesty, Alberta. Mas maganda pag medyo bata-bata pa kayo, kasi pag medyo matanda na, mahirap na mag-adjust yung katawan natin, no? Nandun na yung mga rayuma, tapos yung kuminsan yung habang kasi may hilig tayo mga Pilipino sa matataba, yung gout. Nako, ang dami kayang cases dito niyan, no, na umaatake kasi sobrang lamig. So yon, kaya nga yung mga anak ko nung dumating sila dito, mga bata pa sila, so nakapag-adjust sila. Nagugulat nga ako dun sa mga maliliit namin kasi they don't really mind the cold. Kung minsan nalalabas naka t-shirt, naka shorts, parang hindi giniginaw tong mga to. Samantalang kami, medyo dahil medyo matanda na rin kami, medyo gradual na yung pag-adjust namin sa weather, no? So um, during this time, we also take the opportunity na lumabas, no, at to enjoy the sunshine. Ayan, maglakad-lakad sa labas, no, kung minsan ang ginagawa ko, kahit nagtatapon ako ng mga yard waste, naglalakad ako, meron akong stroller, yun, no, na dala-dala ko yung mga bag of yard waste, tapos tinatapon ko. Malapit lang naman kasi yung waste bin dito sa aming block. So I wanted to talk about a very controversial topic, no. Living in small towns, does racism exist? That's a big question, kasi we know that whenever you move to a certain country, um, you will experience some form of racism or discrimination. That's a given. So yung mga OFW talagang, I can say na malakas ang loob nila, kasi yung yung mga bagay na kinakaharap nila, one of them is yung mapapalayo sa family, ano. Kung minsan kung hindi mo kasama yung pamilya mo, mahirap din, ma-homesick ka. Tapos new environment, kailangan mo mag-adjust, kailangan mo mag-adapt, otherwise mahihirapan ka. Yung mental state mo kailangan ay prepared ka dun sa destination mo, na kahit na anong hirap, kahit na anong balakid, haharapin mo, no. Mabigyan mo lang ng mabigyan mo lang ng magandang kinabukasan yung pamilya mo. At tayong mga Pilipino, hindi lang naman yung immediate family natin eh, kung minsan yung extended family natin ang sinusuportahan natin ano. So part of the struggle when moving abroad is yung tinatawag na discrimination or racism. Nung nasa Middle East kami bago kasi kami nag-move to Canada, me, my wife and my two kids back then, we uh, worked in the Middle East for close to 8 years, and we we lasted 8 years because the environment for us is very good. It's very conducive to earning a good amount of money, and also we were together, my wife and my two kids back then. I have four now, but the two kids back then, they have education, free education. They have free healthcare. We have free healthcare, and the company that we were working for is a very good company. So kaya kami nakatagal ng 8 years. Uh, but then meron ding mga mga kumbaga balakid or mga struggles nung nasa Middle East kami. Yeah, one of those is siguro meron ding form of racism sa Middle East, whereas it shows in a different form compared to here. Sa Middle East parang pag Pilipino ka ang tingin sa'yo ng mga ibang lahi, lalo na ng mga hindi natin kalahi, medyo iba ang tingin nila sa'yo. Although in a general sense, alam nila na masipag ka, pero in terms of your how shall I say this, your pay grade, it's different compared to somebody who has for example, if I am if I am an overseas worker from a different country like the US, or I have a US passport or Canadian passport, your pay grade is different, no? They don't pay you according to your performance, but they pay you according to your passport. So yun yung nakakalungkot, no? And I know it's a form of uh, in a way it's a form of discrimination, but I mean, my wife and I accepted that system kasi wala naman talaga kaming magagawa, no? We are also very thankful because the company that we were working gave us an opportunity to work there, and besides the wages that we were receiving are far off better than some, and we are able to enjoy the amenities of the host country we were in. So yun, no? But yun yung mga struggles, and sometimes when other nationalities look at you, they look at you, I'm speaking from a perspective living in the Middle East. They would look at you from where your origin country is from. So if your origin country is in the US, they would probably treat you with a different form of respect than, say for example, you came from the Philippines, which is like they will also respect you, but not as high as kung ang passport mo ay UK or American or Canadian. So yun na rin yung reason kung bakit one of the reasons na kami ay nag-decide na pumunta dito sa Canada, no? So fast forward, after 8 years we arrived in Canada. We landed in Vancouver, and lo and behold, kasi yung perspective namin nun sa Canada before going to Canada, it's a country of very friendly people, no? The Canadians are very friendly, they're accommodating, and although we also kumbaga hindi namin dinidiscount na baka merong racism din do sa Canada. My personal experience when I was living in Vancouver, wala naman directly na racism or anything that would yun nga parang discriminate us, no, as immigrants. Kaya lang makikita mo rin kasi na subtle yung racism na meron. Like for example, uh, they would uh, they would treat you in a different way if they know that you are new to Canada, no. Parang pag immigrant ka, hindi ka naman nila, wala namang verbal abuse, pero merong hesitation na ano ka na kumbaga parang to let you in their inner circle, which is to me it's not, I don't think it's discrimination, it's just people being cautious. I mean, I also do that. If I see somebody whom I don't know, who I just met, who is new to the place, I would be cautious kasi I don't know the background of the person. So to me, it's not really in a way discriminating. It's just people being cautious. No, so when we moved to Alberta, um, and we settled in a small town, this town, uh, I don't think I had an experience with uh, verbal abuse or verbal racial discrimination. Um, I felt when I first came here that people were cautious of me because they don't know me, which is, like I said, normal. I'm also cautious of this town when I came here. I mean, there's barely any Asian people here. Uh, all people are white, diba? Parang I'm also cautious. I don't know how will people treat me. In my workplace, I'm the only Asian, so I mean, I am I am really cautious when I first arrived in this town. But then, uh, as time goes by, I realize how warm the acceptance of the people in this small town was, no, how accepting they are. At first, they're cautious of course, because they are kumbaga they don't know you, but then when they get to know you, when they get to talk to you, um, you share your views, you share your from where you're from, they began to open up also. So in a way, I didn't really experience any form of racism. It's just that people are cautious whenever they meet somebody new, and that, like I said, it's normal, no. And the people in small towns are very friendly. Like in our town, um, when I moved out here and I was driving around Main Street and all the alleys, people were waving at me, and people were just saying, waving their hand and saying hi. So for me, that's very unusual, especially coming from Vancouver. People don't just wave hi at you, especially if they don't know you. But people around these small towns, they do that. And when I first came to the post office, there was this lady who's still a post office worker. Um, I told her I wanted to get the post box kasi dito pala sa small towns you don't get to your all your packages and your mails don't get to be delivered in your doorstep, not unless it's a special delivery like Loomis or DHL or UPS. But Canada Post, the official post mail service of Canada, in small towns have a specific place where your packages and your mails get delivered. And for you to have an address there, you have to open up a post box. So if you're living in town, Living in a small town, the first thing that you need to do is open a post box so that people will know where to send you, uh, well, to send the mail. Or also, if for example, the government wants to send you anything uh, about your taxes or about your anything that relates to your driver's license. If you've applied for driver's, you need a physical address and a mailing address in a small town. The mailing address is usually a post box. It's a small box where it's free if you live in town, and then all the packages and all the mail gets delivered to that small box, and you can claim it in the post office. So that lady, when I first came there, she talked to me and she said, "So you must be the new guy." Uh, yes, I said, I'm the new guy. I'm the new guy at my company. Oh, do you have kids? I said, yes, I do have kids. I have two of them. Oh, good. Then you can send your kids to school here. Oh yeah, yeah. And then she introduced herself, and by, we became acquaintances and friends also. So yeah, so that's how uh, I felt the warmth of small towns. And sometimes people would walk up to me and talk to me. Those people I don't know, and they would say that, "Oh, you're from this company. You're a new guy. Yeah, welcome to Hardesty. Yeah. So where are you from?" Oh, I would basically say that I'm from the Philippines, but I mean, yeah, I've been in Vancouver for 2 years, so yeah. So how do you like it here? I said, oh, it's wonderful. There's peace and quiet, and the folks are so friendly, and yeah, people look out for each other. So I guess in small towns, people are closely knit, to the point that kung minsan, kung meron sa Pilipinas na mga marites, dito marami rin. Kaya lang, there's also a good and bad in that, no. Um, like for example, when I first arrived here, people probably know who I am from where I work, and the guys that I work with are related to uh, the town people. So most of them live in town. So yung mga katrabaho ko, they live in town, and or those or some of them know somebody from town, or a relative or a parent or a son or a daughter or a nephew of somebody who lives in town. So mahirap na hindi kanila maimarites dun sa kanilang kamag-anak. So yun, no? So my experience, I don't think that, as I recall, walang walang racial discrimination na nangyari. Uh, Wala ring verbal abuse, no? There are jokes, but I mean, like, people joke because they know that you would take it as a joke. So I don't consider that as an insult. And that's what you also need to be careful when you live in small towns, because people out here tend to be comfortable with you, especially if they known you, that they joke around and tell you stuff that sometimes may be offensive to people who don't know each other. But for some people who they're assuming that you're close, I mean, it's a joke. It doesn't really mean anything bad, or they don't really mean anything bad by telling that joke to you. So yun siguro. So yun lang. Living in small towns, although I've heard that in some other small towns, medyo meron ding discrimination, but not really towards Filipinos. So they tend to see Filipinos as very friendly, hardworking, and they mind their own business. That's why I've got lots of Canadian friends, and I mean, I never had any problems with them. And usually uh, they offer help whenever they see that I need it. Like there was a time when uh, when I brought my family from Vancouver to here, and one of my friend who has a family here um asked, "When will your family arrive?" And I told them I'll be driving to Vancouver and then picking them up and then driving them here. And then that friend of mine, he literally didn't tell me that he went out and mowed my front yard. Like he mowed my front yard, and he gave us like a pasalubong, yung a potted plant that says welcome. When we arrived in our rental place, it was so clean. The yard was so clean, and I was really thankful for that, because I mean that's how warm the welcome is if you're living in small towns. So yun yung yun yung experience ko, no? And siguro I won't last 10 years living in this town if I didn't like most of the people. Of course, merong mga pasaway, pero I mean not uh hindi naman to the point na parang mabibwisit ka sa kanila. So if you mind your own business, they won't really bug you. Ayan. So yun lang. Yun yung aking take sa racism. I my experience of the first time you arrive, people will get cautious. People will ask around. People will marites you. But after that, if they know that you mean well, and that you contribute to the community, they will welcome you with open arms, and they will treat you as their own. So, yun yung sa akin. So, if I were to choose, I mean, I would choose small towns, because at least you know the people you live next to. Meron nga akong naranasan nung nag-seminar ako sa Calgary. Um, I was meeting with a friend. That was way back, siguro mga 8 years ago. I was meeting with a friend in downtown Calgary. And there was this one guy who approached us and said, "Hey, Chinaman, why don't you go back to China?" And we were like, uh, we were looking at each other and looking at people around us. There's nobody Asian except us. I mean, this guy was telling us, "Go back to China." I mean, really? So yeah, I've experienced that, but no physical thing happened. It's just a comment. But then that's one of the worst physical. That's one of the probably the worst experience I have with racism, and it's happened in the city, not in small town. So tapos napagkamalan pa akong Chinese. Hindi naman ako Chinese, Filipino ako. So I just didn't reply, and we just shrugged it off. My friend and I, we kept on eating. So yun. So I hope you learned something about this video, and please like and subscribe. God bless you. Thank you so much.